Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. So today's topic is nutrition, and the title is The 4 Reasons for Most Things. So sorry if there was a little bit of a delay when you started the video podcast. I typically film these podcasts on my phone so I can put them on YouTube so people have like a visual representation. Well, as soon as I click play, my phone fell and I had to deal with the fun of setting that back up while trying to talk. Fun start to the podcast. So hopefully it'll go better from here. But what we're going to cover today is, as the title suggests, the 4 reasons for most things. And just talking about the importance of nutrition, exercise, and sleep. And the reason why we use it for a nutrition podcast is because nutrition is often one of the reasons people have issues that they don't really contribute to this reason, and therefore they don't adjust it or change it or give any thought towards it whenever there's a lot that they can control with nutrition. So, when we say most things, what in the world are we talking about? And typically what I mean by this is kind of things within our world, meaning ourselves. So if I have achy joints, my elbow bugs me, my knee bugs me, kind of in a bad mood that day, more so than normal, just kind of low energy, really high anxiety above normal, there's a lot of things that we can feel in our body that don't feel normal. And what is causing that is in relation to these 4 things. So, a little bit of background. I just talked with a client today about this, but we've talked about this concept many times before, but our conversation today kind of sparked it in my mind to make a podcast about it. So this client has rheumatoid arthritis, and we've been lifting weights to kind of lessen her symptoms related to arthritis. She's been able to reduce her medication. She's had a lot less complications and kind of daily annoyances due to arthritis. So it's been extremely helpful, extremely beneficial. Everything's going good, and it's exactly what resistance training, weight-bearing training, can do for anybody with arthritis issues. So it can absolutely lessen the negative impact of arthritis and help you fight against arthritis. So lifting weights actually improves your body's ability to fight and handle arthritis. Lifting weights does not actually cause arthritis to advance or get worse. So I've heard people say that, and it makes no sense. So if you do weight training, so the client I'm working with, for example, I think we've been working together almost 3 years. And in that time, we've actually shown in bone scans to reverse osteoporosis. So not only stop the loss of bone, but we've been able to actually increase bone density in the joints and bones that we've been able to load appropriately for what you would need to address osteoporosis. So that would be the hip sockets and kind of the bones of the leg, because we can do leg press. This person has some limitations in their upper body, which means we're not going to be able to load their spine as well and do some upper body joint loading. So there's pros and cons and craziness, but lifting weights has been absolutely proven, without a shadow of a doubt, to improve or benefit osteoporosis. And we've also seen this happen in the same thing with her arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. And I've seen both those in many other clients. So I've worked with over 2,000 clients and over 500 students when I used to teach at university. And everybody I've ever worked with arthritis, all their symptoms all the time got better with resistance training. So they got to take less medication and it just felt better throughout the day. We also would make nutritional changes, getting rid of acidic foods and some other changes like having more food available throughout the day, more protein, so their body isn't running stressed and they can actually manage to repair. Also, we reduce cortisol with proper nutrition, which helps reduce kind of aches and pains and issues related to arthritis. So tons and tons and tons of benefits. So she was telling me recently that her knee was bugging her. And she was having a little bit of kind of dizziness spells. Well, the last 2 or 3 weeks due to the coronavirus, there's been a lot of craziness about her being able to be regular with her training. So she hasn't been able to do her weight training as she normally would. So, since she hasn't been able to exercise like she normally would, she's been falling off on the benefits of exercise. Then, since her exercise was off and she wasn't able to get to the gym, she was doing a lot more work outside in the yard to try to be active and be positive and bring a positive mindset. But because she was out in the yard being active, she was missing meals. So she was falling behind in her nutrition. So she wasn't exercising like she normally was. She wasn't eating like she normally was. That was making the RA flare up and she was having more issues, which was causing her sleep to be of poor quality. So now her sleep was going down. So then the question became, man, geez whiz, I don't know why my knee hurts. I don't know why I'm having more issues with my hands than I normally do. I don't know why blah, blah, blah is happening with my body. You can fill in X, whatever your X is. Maybe lower back pain, maybe moodiness, maybe anxiety, whatever it might be. But I don't know why X is happening. Well, we would look at these 4 things. We would look at nutrition, exercise, and sleep. And the 4th category is shit luck. So sometimes you do everything right with your food. And food like nutrition includes food and fluid. So hydration as well as eating food. So nutrition, you do everything right with your nutrition. You do everything right with your exercise. You do everything right with your sleep, but you're still having that issue. That's what we chalk it up to shit luck. So that's always the 4th category. So let's go through this and let's kind of think through these things. Nutrition-wise, if I'm not eating like I should, if I'm not hydrated like I should, okay, you're going to be under-recovered from life. You're going to be under-fueled to do things, so therefore you're just going to kind of feel moody and not feel good about doing them because your body doesn't want to do it because it's not fueled for it. Then when you do it, your body's going to feel more strained doing it because it doesn't have all the proper fuel. Therefore, due to that extra strain, it's going to have wear and tear and damage. Then since you're not eating enough protein and you're not staying hydrated, you don't have a way to recover that damage. So collectively throughout the day, you would, in days sequential, if you don't have your nutrition right for multiple days, you're going to have accumulation of physical damage. That's going to cause cortisol to go up. That's going to cause your body to, again, further fight the efforts and energies to try to do anything. So, again, you're going to have poor mood. Again, you're going to have poor energy. And everything goes downhill. So, our body falls apart if we don't eat food. So, food is fuel. Food is how we fix and repair our body. If you don't have food coming in, your body cannot fuel itself. It cannot recover itself. So, it's basically a machine that is being run into the ground. So now people would ask, well, maybe if I didn't eat during the day, but I ate all I needed at night, I have my normal calories, I ate what I should eat in the day. Our body doesn't use days by chunks. Our body uses this moment right now. What are you doing right now is what it needs to be fueled for and what it needs to be recovered from. You can't go a whole day being under-fueled, and accumulate a crap load of damage. And then all of a sudden at night, think you're going to eat enough that every single time you eat at night, you're going to recover the exact amount of calories that you needed. So, say today, basically I worked out in the yard and I used 2,500 calories worth of energy. I accumulated, let's just say, 1,000 calories worth of damage. So my body needs 2,500 calories for what energy it needed to just do what I wanted it to do, and it needs 1,000 extra calories to recover the damage. I'm just making up numbers, but get the idea of this. So I would need to eat 3,500 calories. So maybe you follow, if it fits your macros, or maybe you follow some kind of diet where I know that, so I eat 3,500 calories, I'm fine. Okay, first of all, your body needed the 2,500 calories while it was doing the work. It doesn't need it afterwards. So the fact that you're feeding it a bunch of calories after the fact, when it doesn't need those calories, it is going to save some of that excess of calories in the moment as body fat. So that way it's protected for the next time you try to run it in a deficit. So you ran your body all day without enough calories. So it was in a deficit. It dug a hole. Then when you ate all the calories at night, your body said, well, dear, geez, thank you. I'm going to fill that hole up, but I'm also going to create extra protection for myself so I don't have that same thing happen again tomorrow. That extra protection is body fat. So your body stores some of those extra calories because it doesn't need the 2,500 calories at night when you're sitting on your ass. It needs the 2,500 calories where you're moving your ass. So that's why we accumulate body fat, even if we feel like we're controlling our calories. Then, let's say you ate the extra 1,000 for the recovery. So your body, while you slept, was able to use 1,000 calories to recover exactly what you needed. Well, what about the next day? Maybe instead of going out in the yard and working in the yard, you went and walked around the mall. your body only accumulated, say, 600 calories worth of damage. But you don't know that. How in the world are you going to calculate every single day's to the calorie degree of damage? So you're going to have another 1,000 calories. Maybe you'll guess and say, well, I did less work, so I'm only 800. But you're actually 200 over still. Those calories extra are going to go towards body fat. Or what about the vice versa? What happens if you normally eat 600, but now all of a sudden today you're outside in the yard and you guess that maybe I need 800, but you actually needed 1,000 to fully recover. So you have 200 calories that you did not recover worth of physical stress and damage. You accumulate that day by day by day, it adds up. So then all of a sudden you have achy knees, achy joints, achy shoulders, achy elbows. So our muscles kind of cramp or feel fatigued, they feel odd. So without us being consistent with our food, we are going to have small inconsistencies that add up over time to under-recovered joints and connective tissue and muscles and stuff. Also, we end up having fluffy body types, so we have more body fat than we really need and more body fat than we really should, because since we're not eating our calories when we need them, the body stores them for the next time you have a deficit. Whereas, if you eat as you use calories, you eat during the day when you're more active, you eat less at night when you're less active, you're going to look and appear leaner. You're going to feel better because you were fueled before the activity. You're also going to have fuel during the day, so your body could mitigate some of the damage throughout the day and won't have so much damage to repair at night. So your nutrition absolutely has a factor in how you feel. If you do not eat as you use your body, if your food doesn't match your energy, you will feel that, and it will all be negative. So that's something where if something is happening, okay, like a bad mood, low energy, high anxiety, muscle ache, body ache, etc., one of the reasons why that could be happening is your food. So we want to make sure we match the meal timing with our activity level. So I eat more when I move more, eat less when I move less, and make sure I eat enough for my recovery and all my daily needs. Now, we have past podcasts you can listen to. That'll help. So, for example, we have podcast 153, which is how many calories do I need? So that tells you calories. We have podcast 249, which talks about meal timing. The concept of eating more when you move more and eat less when you move less. So you can listen to those if you want to. So podcast 153 to find out how many calories you should be having. And podcast 249 to learn about the benefits of having proper calorie timing to your energy output. Now, the other areas we look at, like we said, are exercise and sleep. So it makes sense for sleep. If you're not sleeping well, sleep is when we recover, part of the time of when we recover. So if I don't sleep well, I'm not going to be recovered well from my physical activities. I'm also not going to have the energy because my body didn't have the chance to kind of replenish itself energy-wise and kind of press the reset button. So you're going to be under-recovered physically. You're going to have under-energy. That's going to put you in a bad mood. You're going to be a crappy version of yourself, and therefore you're going to have a crappy day. So this is also a big issue why people have high anxiety, because they're not sleeping well. So our body repairs itself even emotionally and mentally while we sleep. So if you're behind on sleep and you feel that, you're going to feel that by having higher anxiety levels. So somebody's going to say, man, what the hell? Like, my anxiety is so high today. I guess I need more medication, or I don't know what I should do. The answer is, again, we look at the four things. How's your nutrition been? How's your exercise been? How's your sleep? And then if you have those three controlled, it's just shit luck. So if you have higher anxiety than normal, look at your sleep. Have you been sleeping well? If not, you want to adjust to that. We do have a past podcast on how to improve sleep quality. So rather than just telling you need to sleep more, I'm pretty sure you're well aware that we all could benefit from extra sleep. And if we could sleep more, we probably would, in the sense of trying to get a good daily average of say 7 to 8 hours a day. But if you can't do that because of work demands, family demands, or whatnot, how do you improve the quality of the sleep you already get? Is podcast 376, titled Improving Sleep Quality. Okay? So that's podcast 376. Now, you can look into that, and it actually does help. But if you're feeling things like high anxiety and wondering what is going on, these are the four reasons for most things, like we say. So you want to look at these first before you look at more medication or adjusting other things. You want to look at your nutrition, exercise, sleep. So, if you have high anxiety, can nutrition play a factor? Absolutely. If you're hopped up on caffeine and sugar, your anxiety is going to be sky freaking high. So you need to pull the caffeine down, pull the sugar down, and your anxiety is going to feel much lower. Okay. So the next thing we're going to look at is exercise. So our body requires exercise in order to improve upon its health. So if I do manual labor, if I'm just busy throughout the day, that uses my health. It doesn't necessarily invest into and build my health. Exercise is how we build health. However, exercise can only build health if it's properly fed and proper sleep. Meaning that when we exercise, we provide the stimulus for the body to make a positive change. It doesn't actually make the change while we exercise. The exercise is the stimulus for change. It's then our food and sleep that allows us to make those positive adaptations to get the positive effect of exercise. So if you're exercising but you're not eating well, if you're exercising but you're not sleeping well, then you're not going to get the positive benefits of exercise, and that can be, again, what's going wrong. So again, if you're feeling achy, if you're feeling muscle pain, joint pain, you're feeling lethargic, you're just feeling like blah, just not really in a good mood. Are you eating well? Are you sleeping well? If you're eating well and sleeping well, then you need to maybe get out and move. So maybe you're not exercising, and that's why your body kind of feels achy, feels sore, because it's kind of like beat up from the physical activity that you have not built it to. So I see this all the time in men as they get older. They always talk about their lower backs hurting. And if they actually have a healthy lower back, most commonly the reason why their back will hurt is because it's doing too much of the work. They don't have enough leg muscles and they have no ass. So how many men on the planet have we seen that have no butt? So they don't have any glute muscles, which are supposed to help their back do work. So their back's doing all of the work, and therefore it's feeling all of the stress. So I'll hear guys talk about, well, my back's always hurting, blah, blah, blah. I need to do this for my back. I need to do that for my back. I need to go see a chiropractor, go see a physical therapist. It's like, no, you need to go see the leg press, damn it. Build up your thighs, build up your glutes, actually get some glutes. And then your back will actually get some help on how to do the physical activity. So if you're eating well and you're sleeping well, you need to exercise as well. And resistance training is by far the best because it makes you stronger. It has a bunch of other positive benefits, and it even improves blood work. And it actually helps you to be able to eat more food because it raises your metabolism. And it actually helps you burn more calories because your body has to recover from resistance training, whereas it doesn't have to do that from cardio. But is walking better than nothing? Sure. However, you should take that time and do resistance training rather than walking. But those are the 4 things we look for. Okay? The 4 reasons for most things. So why things are happening, such as bad mood, things such as low energy, things as high anxiety, muscle aches, body aches. So the 4 reasons for most things are you're not doing something right in your nutrition. You're not doing something right with your sleep. You're not doing something right with exercise. If you look in those 3 areas, there's almost always something you can improve in those 3 areas that will improve your overall health. If you feel like you've been consistent with those 3 areas, then you just chalk it up to shit luck. And that can be something like you just slept in a funny position, maybe you moved weird the day before out in the yard and that tweaked your knee and that's why your knee's hurting today. So your knee doesn't hurt today because you ate wrong or you slept wrong or you exercised wrong. You just tweaked it yesterday when you were out in the yard and your body hasn't fixed it yet. So that's the kind of just random life things, we could also name it. But those are the 4 reasons for most things. So if you're struggling with bad mood, low energy, high anxiety, body aches, depression, anything like that, the first things you need to look at is nutrition, exercise, and sleep. Get those things improved, and then look for other ways to address it, such as medication or other needs. But first, definitely try nutrition, exercise, and sleep. Okay? So again, the podcast we told you to check out was 376 to look about more about improving sleep quality. You can look at podcast 153 to title How Many Calories Do I Need to learn how many calories you need. You can also look at podcast 249 to understand the benefits of meal timing. And a recent podcast, number 559, talks about at-home training so you can learn more about how to exercise even if you can't get access to the gym. Okay? Now, if you're having any specific issue and you're wondering how to address it, and yeah, you heard everything I just told you, but you're not really sure what you should do, email us with what's going on. Our email is brutalironjim@gmail.com. We'll help you kind of diagnose the issue, and we'll figure it out and help you figure out a game plan on how to address it. So thank you for listening to the podcast. I sincerely appreciate it, and I want to make sure that you get a benefit for listening. So please, please, please check out the podcast we mentioned, and then please email us if you have any questions. Cool. Okay, so please, if you don't mind, please share this podcast. It's a good one to share because everybody deals with things. So it's good for people to kind of look into these 4 reasons, see if there's something they could do with their nutrition, their sleep, and their exercise. So please share this if you don't mind. It'll just help like the people who have access to your social media, just kind of raise awareness that their happiness and healthiness is in their control. And if they're friends and family of ours, we'd want them to get benefit. So please share it so they can maybe learn more about how they can control what's going on in their life. And then if you do like the information we present in these podcasts, you can find more stuff from us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter under the name Brutal Iron Gym. And as always, like the podcast is for you. So we want to know what you want to learn about. So please let us know if you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions. You can always email us at brutalironjim@gmail.com, and we'll make sure we answer your question, or we'll make a podcast about it to help everybody else as well. So we appreciate you listening very, very, very much, okay? So as always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening. And thank you for watching.